What is going on? Episode 214 of What's up, Flobo? Yo! It's that Wednesday morning delight as I record these on Tuesday now, but it's all good. I just want to say thank you so much for checking out this episode. And the episode, for some reason, the average viewers weekly is increasing. Of all the other shows I'm doing, they're either flat or decreasing, but for some reason, you guys want to hear me ramble or talk to my mama. Either one. I'm not sure what that is. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Let me know in the comments below. And if you are listening, let me know where you're listening to this show from. Are you in the US? Are you international? That's something I would love to figure out on my own. As it is right now, I am back from Alaska. I was there for the Before You Die Comedy Festival, and it was a trip. And I go into detail about that trip on my Patreon, patreon.com/Flobo Boys. We call it the Boisterous Crew. I really break down how I felt day by day when I was up in the last frontier. I want to call it the Great White North, but that's actually Canada. I was northwest of Canada, Alaska. I just want to say this. People don't really realize how massive that state is. And it was a trip. And I challenge everyone to Google the phrase Alaska superimposed on the United States, and it is terrifying how large that state is. It is bigger than Texas and California combined, but it was a time, and I go into detail about that on the Patreon. But I'm back now. A little bit of a break. A couple weeks here before I go out to Florida next month. It's kind of weird for me going from being in my house for 2 years to traveling. Every time I get the sniffles, I'm always like, I don't know how everyone else is doing it in Texas. It's like COVID never existed. In Alaska, maybe one or two people are very steadfast about it, but it's also a maskless community. Not saying LA is completely masked up, but at least there's enough in there where you don't feel weird. And it's weird that I feel weird about carrying a mask, even though it makes sense to do it. I'm a firm believer in societal travel masks. Why would I be on a plane with 300 people knowing full well that there's air that's filtered but recycled and not wear it, but maybe that is me being an old fuddy-duddy stick in the mud. So the past month, though, with travel is something I want to talk to you about today. You guys know that I hate the phrase, I'm multi-hyphenate. I prefer polymath, but multi-hyphenate's kind of accurate as well, right? I do the podcasting, the hosting, the DJing, the comedy, the esports commentary as well, and other things as they may. I can also wrap a couple cables. I can work a pallet jack, but that's neither here nor there. And going into the couple trips, the first one was in Dallas for WrestleMania, and then, of course, Anchorage for the Before You Die Comedy Festival. I was telling my closest friends, my inner circle, so if you heard this one, forgive me, and if you haven't, you're in my inner circle now too, is that I had a lot of plates spinning, but a lot of them were wobbling, where it felt like, yeah, I have all these things happening, and I am making progress, but not as much progress as I want. In fact, on my trip to Alaska, I was contemplating whether this may be the last time I'm on stand-up stage with a microphone in front of a crowd. And for a bunch of reasons, long story short, I don't think it is. But it made me think about exit plans for anything. Now, people are probably telling me, if you're in it and you love it, why are there exit plans? But I also say, if I was a company, a corporation, if I was Flobo Corp, I would have a list of products and services, and you have to take stock every year and say, hey, look, to make room for new ideas, I would have to sunset some of the older ones. Just for example, on the podcasting space, as much as I love What's Up, Flobo After Hours, still available here on YouTube. You should go back and check all the episodes out. It became unsustainable, and I had to sunset that to open myself up for more opportunities. So it was a blessing in disguise. Even though I loved After Hours, it's actually one of my favorite shows of all time, it's something you have to do. So I was thinking about how much comedy is in my mix of entertainment, how much video game commentary, how much podcasting, how much just vlogging like this with you in my room with my ever so crowded, full of medals filled dresser. what is going to be that mix. So the question I have for you, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, do you have a similar situation? Are you someone that works 9 to 5 but has a side hustle and trying to invest for the future with a third project? Are you juggling that? If you're someone that has 4 or 5 different skincare products in your skincare line, do you juggle with that? What's the mix of right product offerings, right service offerings? How do you say, no, we're going to push this cream and sunset this tonic, or we're going to push more comedy or sunset some of the podcast? What is your mix if you are creative? And if you're not, don't worry about it. I want to make sure that you're not obligated to ask or respond. In other news, though, gearing up for Florida in a couple weeks. This time it's for business last pleasure, I guess. Pleasure in that it's Formula One Miami. Going to see a live Formula One race for the first time. Hopefully, my boy George Russell comes on that podium, arrives on that podium. Yikes, it is early. And I hope it's going to be a good time. For business side, it's really the establishing of the mobile office. One of the cool things about being in Dallas and being in Alaska was I got to test what equipment I would have to bring if I wanted to do the content on the road. And surprisingly, it's not much. I rely on my phone a little bit more. I also realized that internet in hotel rooms are widely inconsistent in quality, but it's still doable. So this is right with the test, because the day I land, or the next day I land in Florida, I'll have a brand new episode of my wrestling show and a brand new episode of my Star Trek show happening there. So both of those will have to be remote. So whatever it may be, I may have to find the best internet possible, but it's definitely doable, which is good. A good thing to have, because if I am booked away to Europe or Australia or wherever, I'm able to do the things I would like to do. Granted, I can go on vacation and say, hey guys, I'm out of town, don't worry about it. But when I have a following, a viewership ready to go, then it'll be a lot easier to say, hey, I'm going to be shooting this live from my hotel room, rather than being, sorry guys, I'll see you next week, I'll see you a month from now, a case or what have you. But yes, I'm going to get off this edition of What's Up, Flobo. After that, I made that unfortunate arriving misstep. You can tell it's early. But yeah, let me know what you're working on. Let me know what your mix. And you have some time, you want to support the homie, I appreciate you if you do. Patreon.com/FloboBoys, the Boisterous Crew. Flobito.threadless.com. That is the place to buy gear and merchandise. Going to have some new designs coming up in the next couple of weeks, so look out for that. Flobito.threadless.com. I am out. Call your mother and be nice to each other, one another. Okay.